Welcome back to part 2 of the fall of Western civilization and the role of homosexuality within it. This is the second part due to time constraints and me talking too much to get everything into one video, so let's move on with the video, shall we? Now, my second point is, even if you could know that there was a standard of morality, an objective one, that was or indeed should be universal, you're presuming that this should exclude homosexuality. Why would this system necessarily have to exclude homosexuality? There are lots of morality systems out there that you could adopt or claim that is the objective one and have no conflict with homosexuality. A good example of this is the philosophy of utilitarianism, which is quite broad and there's a lot to it, but it can be basically boiled down to you can do whatever you want as long as you're not hurting anyone else. Now, last time I checked, sex between two consenting adults of the same gender didn't hurt anyone else. I mean, you can get into the whole debate about public health and the spread of disease if you really want to go into that. That's not hurting anyone else. If the two people consent to have sex, that act in and of itself is not hurting anybody. So here we have an objective morality system. Utilitarianism is right, it applies across all space and time and all places and all peoples. Homosexuality is not a big deal. So if that's our standard of morality, Western civilization is not going to fall into the sea. So my third point, where is the actual evidence that Western civilization is declining? I'm not seeing it. I'm really not. Life's not perfect. No shit. It never has been. Then there's probably never going to be a point where it is. I don't think it's possible. Things are the best now that they have ever been in our history. And you can laugh at this and say, oh, that's a ridiculous statement to make. No, this is the best we've ever had it. More people can be fed for less now than ever before. It doesn't happen, but we could do it if we really wanted to. We have the most advanced level of technology now we've ever had. There are points in history where technology in the world was at a lower point than it used to be. That is not the case now. We've never been this advanced. Death from disease, from starvation, from being killed by other nations, for a lot of us in the world, we've got it pretty damn good. The rest of the world, the people who don't have this, have it particularly bad, and it's particularly stark how much of a difference there is between the two of us, considering how good we do have it in some parts of the world. Now, this is something that excises me, and I think that this is something that really sucks about the world. That's why I am a fairly left-leaning person, and I think that things should be done to try and make the world better for other people. But am I seeing a slide into decline for the West? No, I'm not really. And I'd like to know quite what it is that is so bad about Western society now that indicates that it is declining. In fact, the only way I could credibly argue that society is declining in the West is if I took the position that there was an objective morality system, which I've already explained I don't think there is one and why, and that people are no longer adhering to it, and that I, as someone who is very clear that someone should follow this objective morality system, is worried that things are changing and that people are moving away from my way of doing things. If I believe that, I could see that yes, things are declining, things are getting worse from the position of things being in the past where everyone agreed with me. Now, I hate to be blunt about this, but following that kind of logic, we would make no progress in this world. That's the fairly empty appeal to tradition. In the past, we did things differently, and they were better then, and we should keep doing them that way. Well, on that basis, let's all die at the age of 40 from easily preventable diseases, and let's all have to hunt and scavenge for our food because that's good for our ancestors. Why shouldn't we do it? Well, no, I don't think many people watching this video on the internet in their artificially heated houses eating food that they didn't grow themselves and didn't have to hunt for themselves are really actually going to subscribe to that view if they had to really put their money where their mouth is. Okay, so with all those points aside, I have one final point, and really it's in the form of a question. How does the acceptance of homosexuality bring down a society? How does it happen? Gays can and do want to get on with everyone else in society like everybody else, and the arguments that you can make about homosexuality being a problem for society as a whole with regard to lower birth rates or the spread of disease or whatever, these are really empty arguments. Gay people can and do wish to reproduce. In fact, this is being stopped by the very same people who seem to be complaining the loudest about the decline of Western civilization due to homosexuality. These people should be embracing the right for gay people to reproduce, either naturally or through artificial means or through adoption. They should be so happy that gay people want to counterbalance the harm they could bring to society by being gay. Furthermore, I mean, on the issue of the spread of disease, yes, the rates of transmission of HIV are the highest in gay men than they are in any other group of people. There are more people living with HIV in sub-Saharan Africa than there are in the rest of the world put together. So is being black a sign of the decline of Western civilization? Anyway, to wrap this up, I would like to say that even if the acceptance and sheer rampancy of homosexuality brought down the Roman Empire, it took a fucking long time to happen. If you chart the lifespan of the Roman Empire from its inception in the 1st century AD to when it fell apart, which was 1453, that's 1400 years. I mean, if acceptance of homosexuality is that much of a society killer, we've got 1400 years to work out how to, stop it. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. So that's my argument, and hopefully you found this instructive and entertaining, and next time that someone says, oh well, it's the queers that are going to be the end of all of us, you'll have something to direct them to. This is Illuminati Primus saying, thanks for watching.